Hey, what's up guys? Software engineer and crypto enthusiast Erie Bandis here. So while Bitcoin continues to be at a standstill and people are wondering if they should buy or sell, I figured I would just pretend that everything is fine and switch to one of my personal favorite projects that I think is going to be the next top DeFi project of this bull run. Or the next bull run if this is a bear market right now. Who knows? We'll see. And as you already know by the title, that project is Injective Protocol. Now, Injective Protocol is a decentralized exchange that is trying to fix everything that I hate about decentralized exchanges right now. Gas fees and trading assets cross-chain. No more paying $500 in gas fees just to get $50 of cat girl. But don't just take my word for it. Take Binance Labs, Pantera Capital, Sandeep Nailwal, the founder of Polygon, or even Mark Cuban's word for it, who have invested a total of $10 million into this project.
Nice.
And not only did they invest $10 million, they also invested in hitting that like button below because it'll greatly help my channel. Alright, now that I showed that, let's move on. Now, a strong belief of mine is similar to a lot of people in this ecosystem where I think interoperability is going to be the future of cryptocurrency. A large reason for that is because most likely one blockchain will not rule them all, but instead, each blockchain will fit its own unique case. It's the same thing we see in tech today. Python is used for scripting and machine learning and data science, whereas Java is used more for object-oriented programming for the back-end development, and then JavaScript is usually used more for the front end. And because these blockchains all have to talk to each other, it's a reason that I invest into Cosmos, Polkadot, and other interoperability projects. They aren't competitors to blockchains like Ethereum, but they're there to assist them. So as the adoption of cryptocurrency grows, the need for interoperability will continue to grow with it. So how does Injective Protocol fit into this? So Injective Protocol's decentralized exchange is actually built on Cosmos' Internet of Blockchains. So any blockchain that is compatible with Cosmos is essentially compatible with Injective, and then you can transfer assets seamlessly over to Injective. Meaning that you can trade across an infinite amount of markets that are proposed by the Injective community that can be created, whether it's BTC to ETH, whether it's the Injective token to Terra Luna. Whatever you can think of, it can be possible with Injective. This differs from what we see with Uniswap, which is only compatible with Ethereum tokens, or PancakeSwap, which is only compatible with Binance Smart Chain tokens. This is absolutely insane because a large barrier to utilizing DeFi apps is the amount of wallets that you need for across all the different blockchains. I mean, I doubt 99% of my friends, let alone my parents, would be able to do anything like this in DeFi. We're still very early on, and the user experience is definitely something that is continuing to grow. And I am very happy that Injective Protocol is really focusing on that user experience. They're making it very easy for everyone to just come in and trade assets, whatever assets they might want. Similar to the experience that you might get on Coinbase Pro, that is the experience that they're trying to go for on Injective Protocol's decentralized exchange. And best of all, with their layer 2 chain and order book model, you can trade with no gas fees, cross-chain. So with Injective Protocol, don't worry about saying any story of someone paying $135,000 of Ethereum in gas fees by accident. Injective Protocol has been a hidden juggernaut since the beginning of 2021 with minimal attention, even though they've had many updates and many partnerships over the years. So I want to take a look back at the accomplishments that Injective Protocol made in 2021. So starting back in January, everything was focused on Robinhood at that time. I know, it seems like a lifetime ago, but it was literally last year. Meme stocks were going up like crazy last year alongside crypto until Robinhood decided to stop people from buying their favorite meme stocks like AMC, GameStop, and others. But while all the focus was on Robinhood at the time, of course, Injective Protocol began to take a unique stance. They began to offer synthetic assets that were tied to stocks like Tesla, GameStop, and others that targeted that meme stock community. And the reason they did this was that they wanted to attract these customers by focusing on a decentralized exchange where no one could just turn off that buy button, right? That is the beauty of cryptocurrency. That's why most of us are here, is for that decentralized experience. We don't want that censorship. We don't want people to tell us if we can't buy something. We should be able to just buy it. And this is how Injective Protocol mainly started, was focused more on derivatives. So in this case, with synthetic assets, you're not actually trading Tesla stock or GameStop stock, but you're trading something that is tied to the price of those stocks. And the way they do that is with oracles, and it gets a lot more in depth than that, but we're not going to focus on that in this video. But if you are curious about that, I have my top 5 altcoins for 2022 video up there where I talk about oracles. In fact, I mentioned 2 of them. So traders didn't have to worry about a centralized entity limiting their buy button. Then moving on into February, Injective released their testnet for staking, where they saw Huobi, the crypto exchange company, come on as a Genesis validator. And as a Genesis validator, they are there to help secure the network and clearly support the community. community. Then with March, staking officially goes live with about $50 million worth of value locked up into the staking program. And then on top of that, Injective Protocol reached mainstream news on CBS and Forbes for all things that you wouldn't expect, but it was for burning an art piece by the anonymous artist Banksy for $95,000 and then minting it on the blockchain as an NFT in a publicity stunt. But while everyone was focused on the publicity stunt, Injective Protocol continued to make updates to their protocol, such as the frequent batch auction model that would help with front running, along with improving the efficiencies of the protocol overall. And then quickly again, after the burning of the Banksy art piece, they found themselves in the headline again from TechCrunch, where they were able to raise $10 million, as I mentioned before, from Binance Labs, Pantera Capital, Sandeep Nailwal, the founder of Polygon, and Mark Cuban himself from Shark Tank. And it's in this article that Injective Protocol was actually dubbed the DeFi Robinhood. It was seen as an alternative in the crypto community to something like Robinhood. Injective Protocol continued to make updates, and they began to release their first phase of the mainnet out of 3 in May of 2021. This first phase brought along the bridge that would bring over the assets from Ethereum to Injective. On top of that, this update also brought an insurance fund that users can stake to and protect their funds. And then moving into June, the second phase of the mainnet was already released, known as the Canary Chain. This phase served the purpose of allowing users to begin trading, but in a limited fashion to really test out the network and make sure nothing was wrong. On top of this, Injective Protocol released a revamped version of their Injective Pro decentralized exchange that would boast up to 10,000 orders per second. And while Injective Protocol continued to make these updates, they also continued to make partnerships. One of them being with the oldest national Thai bank known as SCB, at least a venture arm of them, where they came on as a Genesis validator next to Huobi. But not only did they join, they also brought in Binance as a Genesis validator who has a financial stake in Injective too. So a lot of big name players involved in this. Moving into the second half of 2021, even more updates were added. The initial spot markets were provided. So if you wanted to trade the Graph, Sushi, and a bunch of other assets on Injective chain, you can bridge your assets over and do just that. Injective Protocol also gave Injective Hub, which was a unified platform for all their products like staking, governance, and trading, and many more products. An Injective API was introduced for institutions so they can trade on Injective in the back end. And then new exchanges or relayers were also built on the Injective chain, such as Picasso, MarsX, and many other exchanges next to Injective Pro exchange. These relayers were essentially the first dApps on the Injective chain that allowed them to offer their own custom user interface for their customers. And finally, Injective Protocol launched with their mainnet in November of 2021, where they boasted about $100 million of volume in just a few days. To help even bring liquidity, they brought in the $120 million Injective Astro liquidity program. And this was introduced to reward traders for coming onto their platform and trading. So essentially, every time you traded on the platform, you would earn tokens. And to top the year off, Injective Protocol offered a bridge to Terra Luna, so you can bridge your assets over from Terra Luna and begin to trade with those. They also boasted $1 billion worth of volume and brought Injective Burn tokens, where people can bid with Injective token for the 60% of the fees that was utilized for the week, and thus burning the Injective token in the process. Overall, 2021 for Injective Protocol brought many investors and partnerships alongside their mainnet. Not only that, but Injective Protocol was able to release their bridge, their decentralized exchange, their insurance, staking, governance, and much more. But even though Injective Protocol was able to accomplish all this last year, why did the price of the token go down? The first reason? Manipulation. What? I don't know, I'm just playing. I feel like everyone nowadays points to manipulation for why things might be going down, but the real reason is back in November, that's when their mainnet came out, and that's actually when the markets started to go downwards. A lot of that had to do with everything that's happening with the Fed and interest rates and much more going on in the world. The second reason is also because 2021 wasn't really the year for DeFi. It was more the year for Layer 1s, Layer 2s, NFTs for sure, metaverse, and gaming tokens. So DeFi has kind of been a little bit lackluster since 2020. But it's for these reasons that I look at DeFi. Undervalued. Why would I want to invest in other things that I currently think are overvalued right now? DeFi will be, in my opinion, one of the largest, if not the largest, industry in cryptocurrency. The reason for this is because you have to think about in the centralized world where all the value is locked up. It's with banks and finance. And as DeFi continues to grow as a competitor to centralized finance, I think Injective Protocol will be one of the top DeFi projects because only those who think big will survive. Injective Protocol has accomplished a ton this past year. But the future is even more exciting. Injective Protocol is going to continue working on their DEX, their main product, along with bringing users, liquidity, and more markets. But most of all, Injective Protocol seeks to be the DeFi blockchain for dApps to build on. What does this mean? Well, as I mentioned before, Injective Protocol started off as a decentralized derivatives exchange focused on synthetic assets like Tesla and GameStop, but also on perpetual futures with Bitcoin and Ethereum, everything related to derivatives. But then they evolved into spot markets where you can trade these assets cross-chain. But Injective didn't stop there. No. Their vision grew even bigger. Injective Protocol mentioned in an article that they noticed many layer 1s were being built in hopes of attracting developers to come to their blockchain. But Injective Protocol flipped this. They realized that they had this entire Injective chain where they built these DeFi tools for their decentralized exchange. So they figured, why not just open this up and provide smart contract capability where people can build their dApps on the Injective chain and not have to worry about building their own custom DeFi tools. They can already use the ones that Injective Protocol already built. Everything is open source. It differs from building on a blockchain like Avalanche or Algorand, which is a lot more new, and a lot of these things have to still be built. Well, if you go to the Injective chain, it's meant for DeFi. So they already have these tools built for the dApp developers. And as I talked about before, I think many chains will serve their purpose. I think Injective will serve a purpose for DeFi's ecosystem. And as the Injective Protocol ecosystem continues to grow, the Injective Hub is going to be the one-stop shop for many users. You're going to see many users come onto this Injective Hub like any other bank or exchange, and they're going to be able to do lending, investing, or whatever else that DeFi is able to provide. And by providing this DeFi ecosystem, it would create a positive feedback loop within the ecosystem. Injective Protocol wanted to provide the centralized experience just without all the censorship. They don't want to tell you what assets you can and can't buy. They don't want to tell you where you can and can't put your money like banks do. The whole beauty is that you get the freedom with this decentralized experience, but a way better user experience. And that's why I love Injective Protocol. So as I said, Injective Protocol is a huge juggernaut that has made consistent strides, and their future looks even brighter. And it's also the success in hitting their timelines that gives me faith in their future plans. They've consistently hit everything in their roadmap, and I think they'll continue to do the same in the future. And hell, I think Injective Protocol's product right now, the decentralized exchange, is better than Uniswap, PancakeSwap, or all the clones that will gouge you in fees. And on top of that, this is cross-chain. And if Injective Protocol continues to hit the mark on their future roadmap, there's going to be an immense need for a token. And that's just not because investors are coming in, but that's because the Injective token on the Injective chain will be utilized for every transaction, similar to how Ethereum is on their own blockchain, thus providing more demand for the token alongside increased transactions on the network, meaning more burning, reducing the supply of the token, meaning the token's price to the moon. Now, time for my price prediction, but remember, I'm not a financial advisor. You have to do your own research. This is just a project that I really love and I personally invest in. It's for all these reasons that I mentioned before that I think Injective Protocol in the long term will do 100x. Can't tell you in terms of time frames when things are going to happen, because at the end of the day, everything follows Bitcoin. But I think in the long term, I think Injective Protocol will do 100x. I know that sounds insane, but you have to realize that this is also a low market cap coin. With 100x, this will put the token at about $600 with about a $26 billion market cap. Now, that's not too crazy when you think about it, because Uniswap essentially at its height was about 21 billion market cap, and I think Injective Protocol has a way better future than Uniswap. Even if it doesn't do 100x, I don't see why it can't easily do a 10x. I mean, I think in a bull run, that's super easy. But personally, for me, if it did a 10x, I personally wouldn't sell. I just have that strong of a conviction on the project, and I plan on holding it for a pretty long time. But at the end of the day, I'm not a financial advisor, just a passionate guy talking about magic internet money. No, not the token that everyone's talking about. That was just a joke. So do your own research and figure out what works for you. But remember, if you like the content, please like the video below. It really does help get my video out there. And if you like this type of content where I go into tech and news, everything related to cryptocurrency, please hit the subscribe button below. I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you in a future video. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.